Hi everybody. I think we are live. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. And yeah, tell me if you can hear me, if you can see me, if everything is fine, if someone is already connected. In the meantime, I need to share my screen. Let me see. Okay, thank you. Loud and clear. I see in the chat. Share screen. I'm using YouTube, like bare YouTube without additional software. So, uh, all right. Now I'm sharing my notes. You should see my notes here. Okay. All right. Okay, I think we are ready to go. So, again, welcome to this live. The idea is to, as you know, present the new DaDaBIK version 13.5. As I wrote in the email you received a few days ago, the new features are the feature set. The new feature set is very rich, so this could have been probably a major release, but these features were ready. I wanted to release them, and I decided to release a minor to publish a minor release 13.5. So what I'm going to do now is I will show you. I created a test application, a business management application with DaDaBIK, and I will introduce you the various new features showing this application. Basically, sometimes I will compare side by side old version versus new version, because it will be easier to to spot the new features. In case you have any questions, of course, please write in the chat, interrupt me, and I try to answer um, right away. Okay. All right. So first of all, we have a new user interface. If you have seen the preview in the email, you saw that is quite different respect to the classic interface. It's an experimental UI. At the moment, I consider it in beta, but I think it's beautiful, modern. I like it. So let me show you side by side the old application. I mean, the application, the same application using the old interface, the old DaDaBIK, and the new one. I think I need to share not a tab now. So let me see the best way to show you everything. Window. Okay, very good. So this is the same application using the old DaDaBIK, so 13.4, and this is the same application with the new DaDaBIK and the new interface, user interface enabled, because by default it's not. So if you download the new DaDaBIK, by the way, at the end of this live streaming, I will I will publish the new DaDaBIK, so you will be able to download it. By default, you will still see the old interface. There is a configuration parameter. It's called UI style. By default, is set to classic. If you turn to modern, you will see this new user interface. Well, as you can see, it is much more modern. It's more compact also. I would say this is exactly the same screen, the customers page in the business application I have created as example. What else? This is the data grid, but there are a few things we should mention. The first one, the new user interface has a sticky sidebar. So on the old approach, as you can see, at some point we lose the menu. With the new interface, the menu is sticky. So even if I change here to 50, for example, 50 items per page, I go down and the menu is still here, which is pretty convenient, I think. Okay. Then on this page, on the results grid page, the other new thing you will see is on the quick search form. I think in products we have a quick search form. Yes, this is a quick search, the classic quick filters. Here, let me show you an example. For example, I'm looking for product code containing 001. Okay, and I have some results. Here I see, even when I hide the filters, I see here one. It means there is one active filter. Okay, we didn't have this highlighted in with the old user interface, and this is related to the grid. The other thing you probably see is this one. So the old user interface had a lot of buttons, and they, like the standard buttons, looked all the same. This is pretty confusing, I guess. This was pretty confusing. In the new interface, create new is in a different color, and then we have all the other buttons that are kind of secondary, probably. The next step, what I have in mind, is to have, maybe you can tell me what you think about it. I would like to have sort of other tools button that once clicked revealed all these buttons, because again, I think we have too many buttons here in the page, especially for people who see for the first time the interface. It could be confusing, and especially if you also have additional custom buttons. All right, so that's another thing. Let's move to the forms. Let's go back to customers and forms. So customers and forms. Okay, let's move to another record. Okay, even the form is very different. As you can see, this one, I guess, looks more modern, and it's a different form. The style is different, the toolbar is different, and the field, how the fields are rendered, is different. And on the top of that, you also have a sticky toolbar. Once again, here, if my form is very long, I lose the save and all the other toolbar buttons. Here, I can change something here, and then I still have my toolbar available here. Okay, that's another little thing that I think could be useful. All right, let me check my notes. Side by side, quick search, primary, how to enable it, sticky, side by side. Okay, I think I mentioned everything. I have a look to the chat. Okay, thank you. Last thing I want to tell you is that the idea, I don't know if you noticed that, but I posted something on the forum this morning. My idea is to do a kind of collaborative work for this user interface. So on the DaDaBIK forum, and in particular on the bugs forum, there is a post I published this a few hours ago, dedicated to this new user interface. So basically, here, the idea is that you post here everything you think about the new user interface, meaning bugs you will see, limitations, ideas for improvements, suggestions, anything. The good news is that basically the 95% of this new interface is implemented through a single CSS file that is included when you set the UI style to modern. So this CSS file overrides the standard DaDaBIK styles and produces the new interface. This means that if we find bugs or we see there are some easy improvements we can do, I can just share the new version of the file here, and you can just get the last patched version of the interface without upgrading DaDaBIK. Okay, so again, for the moment, consider the user interface as a beta version, and try it, test it as much as you can. It would be very helpful if you can give me your insights, maybe with different browsers, in different application scenarios, and so on and so forth. Let me know if you have any question about this. In the meantime, I will drink some water. It's 6 p.m. Here in Italy, a very hot summer. And so if you don't have questions, I will proceed with the next point. A much faster engine. A much faster engine. So what is happening here? Well, when you have a very complex application, and here with very complex, I mean an application having and fields. Why tables and fields and not records? Because with the granular permissions, DaDaBIK granular permissions, the more fields and the more user groups you have, the more are, the combination of things related to permissions DaDaBIK needs to check when you open a page. Okay? So if you have a complex application for, considering that aspects, at some point, your application could become a little slow. Now, the core function that checks the permissions, a function that is used many, many times in the DaDaBIK engines, has been completely rewritten. And now the result is that DaDaBIK is much, much faster. Again, let me show you an example. Old versus new DaDaBIK. So let me share once again the window. Okay, let me go back here. Orders. Okay, I need to set the availability of this application, the app status, as maintenance. Why? Because in that way I can show you the generation time when your status is maintenance, you see for each page some debug information, and also the fact that the page has been processed, well, maybe generated is a better term, in this case 0.26 seconds. Okay. Okay, let me give you some context. This is an application where we have quite a lot of tables, not so many, but probably 10, something like that. But we have some tables with a lot of fields. For example, the orders fields has about 60, the orders table has about 60 fields. Okay. And also we have quite a lot of groups, eight groups. The number of records is 2000, so not much. And this table contains also several foreign keys. As you can see from here, in fact, we have several left join in the SQL that DaDaBIK needs to execute to show you all the orders. So many foreign keys with lookup fields. Okay, right. So this is the new application, 0.26 seconds. We can also change the page, it's still pretty fast, 0.23, something like that. Let's go to the old application, old DaDaBIK. And we have 1.2, 1.2, way slower, 1.4. It's like 5 or 6 times faster. Okay, so it's a huge improvement if your application is complex. Any disadvantage in this new approach? No. You will consume a little bit more RAM memory, but I think that in most of the cases you don't even notice that. You won't even notice that. So basically, it's it will be an improvement in any case, I would say. Of course, the increase in performance is different according to different factors. The kind of application you have, as I said, number of tables, number of fields, complexity of the queries also has an impact, but not much for this change I introduced. Number of groups, these kind of things. Also, the machine you're running DaDaBIK on can make the difference. For example, this exact application with the same database on my laptop, which is a MacBook Air M3, in that case, the increase in performance is 10 times. Okay, so it also depends on the machine you are running on. The application you are seeing right now run on a very cheap shared hosting. Why? Because I wanted to show you that even on a very cheap shared hosting, the performances are quite good. So probably if you run this on a VPS, it would be it would get better results. But still, it's a big improvement. Okay, so this is the new engine, basically the new permission engine. No. Let me see what we have. Let me see what we have. Advanced error handler. So let me explain what I mean here. Because, well, maybe you may think that, let me share this. Okay. Advanced error handler. So why do we need an advanced error handler? Because, when there is an error in your application, you already have your Apache error logs, I guess, Apache or other web server. You already have your PHP error log, you know? So why do we need that? Well, if you guys have managed complex applications with DaDaBIK, you know that sometimes the standard error logging is not enough, because sometimes you log the error, you see the errors, but maybe sometimes it's difficult to understand why the error was generated in the first place. So I decided to basically add from scratch a DaDaBIK error handler. This means that potentially any error, fatal error, warning, deprecated error, anything on the PHP side is now, if you enable this, because this is disabled by default, are handled by DaDaBIK. And this means that in addition to the classic detail of the error, you get a lot of context. A lot of context that allows you to understand better the reason of the error. What do I mean with application context? I mean, you will know who was the user who generated the error, which browser the user was using, their IP address, what else? The SQL query, if available, the last known SQL query, and this is very important because very often the error is related to an SQL query. The file that generated the error, the line, if available, the whole trace, a stack trace. So maybe the error was generated because you called index.php, but then index.php called a function that is in another file. You will see all the stack. You will see the table, if available, the user was working on. The database function. So you will see, okay, the user was trying to update the table customers, something like that. So a lot of details. And this will help a lot, understanding the reason of the error. Now, this is the first point, but let me tell you something more, because that's not enough. You have now 3 tracking options. Let me do without headphones because it's too hot here. I don't know if you still see well, because without the monitor sometimes it's difficult to to keep the volume, the right volume with the voice. Is still everything is still working as expected in terms of volume and voice? Can you tell me something about that? Okay, thank you very much. So you can now choose where to track your errors. You have 3 options, well, 4 actually, and these are not alternatives. You can choose even all of them. You can store your errors in a log file, a text file that you choose. You can send an email notification, and this is very useful because you immediately get notified. The system also has built-in limits to avoid, let's say that an attacker is, trying to force your application, and so a lot of errors are generated. The system has a configuration parameter that you can set to avoid, receiving many emails in a short amount of time. So you can set this parameter, and if the error is the same, you can set the interval. So the same error can be sent only after 1 minute, something like that. Okay. So file, email. You can still, if you want store, in addition to file and email, you can still store, use the classic PHP error handling. So you can add the standard error logging as well. And finally, but this is something only available for DaDaBIK Platinum. You can also store the errors in a dedicated DaDaBIK table, the DaDaBIK errors table. And you have a dedicated console where you can see the errors. You have KPI to keep monitored the errors. So this for critical application is very useful. Let me show an example. So let me this. Maybe now I can remove the maintenance status. Okay. One way, let me find something to. Okay, for example, if I try to delete a customer that is linked to an order, because of the foreign key constraint, an error, a database error is generated. So let's try to generate that error. For example, I can try to delete the customer 005. 005, delete. Okay, we got the error. Sorry, something went wrong. This is a general error message that you can customize. You have a lot of configuration parameters about errors, and this is one of them. So the error has been generated. And let's move to our DaDaBIK errors page. As you can see, we have the errors generated today, the unsolved errors, and a chart with the errors by week. Okay, this is our error console. Of course, you can customize this. I will tell you later how. And these are the errors. These are the errors. Datetime, description, the user, table, browser, function, and solved yes, no. Because we can we can mark an error as solved. So we can keep track of the unsolved error. Let me go into the details. I need to interrupt the sharing for a few seconds because otherwise I will share too much about this server. There are some technical details. Okay, now we are ready to share again. Sorry for this. Okay. Now I am in the detail of an error, datetime, description. Here you see a lot of things. Okay, this was not actually the error I wanted to show you. Let me go back. Okay, sorry. This was the wrong record. Let me reshare this. We have the query that generated the error, delete from customers where ID equal 5. And then here you see the backtrace. So you will see the stack of all the, the stack trace of the error generation. The user, tables, IP, browser, function, and we can mark this error as solved if we want. Okay, so this is the new error handling feature. Again, if you have any question, just tell me. Otherwise, I will move on with the next feature. And the next feature will be the improved calendar view. So let me open a calendar here. You know that we introduced the calendar view. I don't remember exactly when, a few months ago, but recently I realized that we need some improvements. I created an application for a client. It was a company working in the car repairing and customization business. And for these guys, the calendar was a very important part of their application. From the calendar, they could see the cars. They have several mechanics, and in the application from the calendar, they can see the cars they can they have to work on each day. And also from the calendar they will see even different kind of events. For example, meetings, holidays, training courses. So the calendar is a central page of their application. In order to provide a better, more efficient calendar, I needed to add new features. The first one is we have now different views. So since version 13.4, we only have the month view. Now we have the week view. So this is the current week, and we can clearly see for each day the activities. We have the day view and also a general list of all the events. And this is the first thing. Second, we have two additional parameters, category and tooltip. Each event now has a category, and the different categories are displayed with a different color, as you can see. This makes way easier, to understand things here, to understand what is going on, basically. And also, you have this tooltip. You may need to show a long description for each event, and you have a dedicated tooltip field that you can use for that. Exactly as before, if you double click on the event, you will see the detail of the event, and you can also edit it. Okay, these are just some of the improvements. You can check the change log to see all the improvements related to the calendar view. All right. I see I have a question. can you customize certain error messages? Can you clarify that? Certain, what do you mean? You are referring to the error handling we discussed before, or what? Because if you are referring to the error handling, can I keep certain error groups general with one message? I think I still don't understand. And I keep certain error groups general with one message. No, sorry, I don't get what you mean. There is the general error message that you can customize, but instead, if you refer to the application error messages, like, for example, an email validation error, those are completely customizable, but you could do it even before this version. If you can tell me something more, I wanted to keep some message simpler than their server message. Well, if you are, again, if you are referring to, you know, not handled error message like the one we saw before, you can absolutely customize the error message, if that is the question. Okay. All right. Okay. Calendar. Then KPI dashboard on the top of your results grid. KPI dashboard. So, as you saw here with DaDaBIK errors, we have charts, a small dashboard on the top of this table. But the good news is that you can do it for any table now. So now, from layout, let's say record list layout, let's say customers, from datagrid heading custom content, after title, this is now much more powerful because this is a rich text editor. You can use HTML, meaning that you can add a dashboard here, exactly as you do for general dashboard. And you also have a dashboard template, okay? That, of course, you can customize and add real charts. This is just a template, but just to show you what is going on here. Okay. This is for customers. Here we go. We have our table customers, but on the top of the table, we have a little dashboard to show some KPI related to customers. Okay. This, I think, is little improvement, but very, very useful. Okay. All right. Let me continue with the last thing I want to show you here. These new versions also contain other things and a lot of bugs fixed, but these are the main ones and the ones I wanted to present to you during this live. So the very last is improved logo rendering. So the old logo approach, rendering approach, had problems with high density displays. Well, you could steal the logo, but sometimes it looks a bit blurry. So basically, before you had the how did DaDaBIK work before? Basically, it displayed the logo at the exact size you uploaded it. We're talking about uploaded logos. So, in order to show a small logo, you needed to upload um, a small logo in terms of resolution, pixel resolution, which in turns means that on high density displays, the logo did not render well. Now you can, and I recommend you to do it, you can upload a very big logo and then decide the size, the height of the logo through CSS. And this way, your logo will look way, way better. Okay. All right. That was everything I want to show you. Let me check the chat. Does the layout config allow us to hide buttons like advanced search, generate charts, generate pivot? Yes, some of those features you can hide them with some configuration parameters, but this was already available before. Okay, you can do that. The very last thing I want to discuss. Let me check one thing first. Okay, you're welcome. The very last thing I want to discuss is pricing. Prices, well, some of the prices have been adjusted a little bit, have been increased a little bit. Why? Well, some prices, I'm thinking, for example, I'm talking, for example, about the enterprise maintenance price has remained unchanged since 2019. So 7 years. Considering that during these years prices increased a lot due to inflation, I thought it was time to adjust a little bit some of the prices, including the maintenance enterprise price. So you will see a little increase in the maintenance price, but I think is justified by inflation and by the fact that during these 7 years we continue releasing new features. So DaDaBIK has increased a lot during these years, and still I think that the prices are in most of the cases way lower than competitors. So yeah, that's the very last thing I wanted to tell you. And well, what else? If you don't have any questions, I will proceed with turning the website, the download on. Can you say something about a general search function? What do you mean exactly? We already have a general search function called OmniSearch, and it is still available. Okay, okay. Yeah, we have the Omni search feature. Let me show an example here. This is the Omni search. For example, let's say that I write here government. Here, well, this is tooltip telling me which fields are considered by the Omni search. And here we go. Okay. I guess this was what you meant, right? Okay, okay. Good, good. Any other questions? No? All right. So, in about, I would say, 10 minutes, the website will be up and running with the new version available. And you will see that from here, edit this app on the um, on the dev area. You will see new version available here. Okay, you will see that. I mean, if you have the 13.4, if you have a previous version, you probably already see new version available there. Okay, but again, in about 10 minutes, everything will be online, and I think tomorrow morning I will send an email, the classic release email, but you can already download DaDaBIK in about 10 minutes. Okay, of course, as usual, if you are in your free upgrade period, you get it for free. Otherwise, if you have enterprise or platinum, you pay the maintenance license and you get the new version and one additional year of free upgrades. Okay, everything as usual. Okay, guys, thank you for coming, and I wish you a great summer. And let's keep in touch, especially for the new user interface. Please post bugs, limitations, suggestions, idea on that forum post I mentioned before. Okay, all right. Have a nice evening or day, depending on where you are. Bye bye. See you next time. Bye.